House court. The court has called in the Tihar jail officials and is asking them to receive an order of the copy. Now, what exactly is the order is the million-dollar question. The court had to decide whether in the next 12.5 hours, Nirbhaya's murderers and rapists will hang or not. So right now, what we are being told is that Judge Dharmendra Rana is here, and the execution of the warrant has been postponed, which possibly means, and I think this is what it means, we'll try and get across to our reporters as well, but the big piece of breaking news that is coming in is this: the execution of the warrant has been postponed, which means there is not going to be any execution tomorrow. This is big breaking news coming in. For a second time now, the execution of Nirbhaya's convicts has been postponed. We do not know till when it has been postponed. All the court order is saying that the execution has been postponed till further orders. Let me go through this once again. This is the big breaking news that is coming in from the Patiala House court. Nirbhaya's murderers and rapists will not hang tomorrow. Their execution has been postponed for a second time now. It was first scheduled for 22nd of January. It was then made 1st of February. It's now been postponed till further orders. What a heartbreak. What a heartbreak this is, Arunima, for Nirbhaya's parents, who are probably, watching the orders being relayed by the judge and thinking to themselves, how long do we have to wait?
When I speak to them, I see them kind of reconciled to this fate. Their lawyers had explained to them when the last date of hearing happened. Their lawyers had told them, and in fact, if we play out that short tic-tac that I did with one of the lawyers again, he actually counted it date by date and said that his understanding was that it would take another 60 days, which means first week of April. And how he was counting it was each time they would move a mercy plea 1 day before the date of execution is given by the Patiala House court. Then again, the warrant will get postponed. President will take time. So he had calculated it all. And I think Nirbhaya's parents, the legal team supporting them, they're all now more or less reconciled that they will have to push, this one last time, get all their energy together, get all their resources together and push this one last time. And then finally, perhaps the execution will happen around April. That was their calculation.
All right.
As far as the order is concerned, we don't have a date yet.
Can I interrupt you for a minute? Because Nitisha Arunima was inside the court when the order was being delivered, pronounced. She's joining us on the phone line. Nitisha, it's over to you. Is there any reasoning that the court and the judge have given to postpone the execution once again?
No, in fact, the judge came and he just delivered the order. He first asked the Tihar officials to come and take the order, put in writing that they have received the order copy, and then he said just one word, that the execution of warrant is postponed till further orders, and he left without telling the reason. Of course, the reason must be mentioned in the order copy, but we are yet to receive the order copy. The order copy right now has been given to the Tihar officials and to Nirbhaya's parents, the public prosecutor, and to AP Singh. We will be looking at the order copy in some time from now, and we will be letting you know what is the exact reason why the order execution has been postponed till further order.
Okay, Arunima, Nitisha, thank you very much. We are waiting for an order copy to know exactly why the execution has been postponed till a further date, and that further date has not been given. Arunima, the speculation was that Mukesh, one of the 4 convicts, has exhausted all legal options. There was a possibility of hanging him tomorrow and maybe, letting the other 3 exercise their legal options before finally deciding to hang them. Why is that something that could not happen? Why is that a route that the judge didn't take? I understand that there are Supreme Court guidelines that are very clear on this matter, but the Supreme Court itself has decided to review those guidelines.
No, but till the time the Supreme Court reviews those guidelines, reviews the earlier case law and gives a new pronouncement, the earlier judgment stands. And the defence was quoting these 2 cases. Harwant Singh and others versus State of Haryana was the case where the Supreme Court had ruled that if convicts have been sentenced together, the execution has to be carried out together. The other case is the Shatrughan Chauhan case. So these are 2 cases.
दिया जाए जब तक सारी लीगल प्रोसीजर हैं उस पर फांसी पर पूरी तरह रोक लगा दी गई है और आगे के लिए भी कोई डेथ वारंट की डेट जारी नहीं की गई है।
ये बताइए, जो अक्षय की भी कल क्यूरेटिव रिजेक्ट हो चुकी है, उसके
अक्षय की भी क्यूरेटिव रिजेक्ट हो चुकी है और इसकी पवन की भी रिव्यू डिसमिस हो चुकी है आज। लेकिन पटियाला हाउस कोर्ट ने फांसी की सजा पर चारों दोषियों अक्षय, विनय और पवन और मुकेश की जो फांसी की सजा 1 फरवरी को सुबह 6 बजे होने को थी, उस पर रोक दी गई। 10 पेज का ऑर्डर है, अभी मुझे ऑपरेटिव पार्ट पढ़ के सुनाया गया, और जेल अधिकारियों को फांसी की सजा पर रोक लगाने का ऑर्डर रिसीव करा दिया गया। उनसे रिसीव करवा के ले लिया गया है कि फांसी 1 फरवरी जो होनी थी कल सुबह, वो फांसी की सजा नहीं होगी, चारों दोषियों को फांसी नहीं होगी।
प्रीति, आप देख रहे थे, एपी सिंह को सुन रहे थे। एपी सिंह अभी बता रहे थे कि
Okay, that was the lawyer for the 4 convicts who's saying that the court has not issued any new day for the warrant, which means no new date has been issued for the execution. Arunima, go ahead. You were making that point when the lawyer for the 4 convicts had started speaking. He is very clear. He is very confident till the other 3, apart from Mukesh, till the other 3 don't exercise their last legal option, which in this case is the mercy petition, there will be no hanging.
Yes, so that's more or less settled now. The only reason there was speculation happening was because of the time that the Patiala House Court judge took. He took, he finished his hearing at around 1 o'clock, even before 1 o'clock, and the order has come around 5. So around 4.5, 5 hours he took to come out with this judgment. That time was leading to speculation that is it a reasoned order that he is giving, and if it is a reasoned order, if it's a detailed order, is he going to argue in favor of Mukesh's execution? But looks like he has gone with what the defense argued. The 2 cases that have been mentioning, these are the cases the defense has been citing before the court there. Even though the prosecution said that there is no legal bar, the court has not agreed with that position. The case law, the Supreme Court cases from earlier are very clear that you have to give that 14-day period once mercy plea is rejected. So suppose Vinay's mercy plea gets rejected today by the president. From today you have to count 14 days before he can be executed. And suppose on the 13th day Pawan files or Akshay files, then again that entire process has to be followed. And therefore what AP Singh is saying, and like I was telling you, even Nirbhaya's lawyers and legal team are now reconciled to this, that if you count 14 days plus you give about 5 days to the president for rejecting and considering, which means about 19 to 20 days, and if you multiply it by 3, because there are 3 convicts who are still to exercise that option, that means about 60 days from today, which is end of March.
Which is end of March. So realistically speaking, though the court, Arunima, has given no date, realistically speaking, Nirbhaya's convicts will not hang till the end of March, maybe early April. April?
Yes, end of March, early April is what the calculation was of Nirbhaya's legal team, because they could figure out, they could see through the game plan that AP Singh and Vrinda Grover had. They are the defense counsels for Mukesh, Akshay, Pawan, and they had formed this strategy. And based on their strategy, this was the rough calculation that was done by Nirbhaya's legal team when they spoke to me on the last date of hearing. And that's exactly how the script is proceeding from here on. We are waiting for Vinay's mercy plea decision by the President of India. I was just speaking to the Home Minister, MOS Home, G. Kishan Reddy, and he also said that the ministry is helpless. Yes, we have knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court. Unless the Supreme Court, in the next few days itself, Supreme Court has admitted that plea, but unless the Supreme Court in the next few days itself reviews its earlier judgment and say no, this 14-day period should not be given, then maybe that would be applicable in this case. Otherwise, retrospectively, no law is applicable. So all of these legal battles, it's a huge case file now in this case. But like I was telling you, back of the envelope calculation by Nirbhaya's legal team makes them kind of reconcile to the fact that end March, early April is when finally justice will be done to Nirbhaya's mother Asha Devi and father Badri and the rest of the family.
You're saying that the Home Ministry says they are helpless. I want to ask you how India's criminal justice system has become so helpless that a woman is raped, brutalized, murdered on the streets of Delhi 7 years ago, and her parents 7 years on are still going from court to ensure that their daughters, their child's rapists and murderers are hanged. The big question, who let Nirbhaya's parents down? Is it, the fast track court, I think, had made up its mind and given a decision in 10 months. What happened after that?
Yes, in less than a year's time. December is when she breathed her last. By next year, September, the Saket court had given its verdict. The High Court also decided in less than a year's time. In Supreme Court, it took the maximum time, and it's a little ironical because the Apex Court is, there's no first-hand evidence which is to be considered there. Everything is there on the paper book, unlike the lower court where testimonies happened, cross-questioning happened, and therefore that takes more time. But in the Supreme Court, this took a lot of time, and then in 2017, Supreme Court decided. Till 2019, nothing happened. The process of review review, curative, asking for a death warrant. All of that started happening only when Nirbhaya's mother knocked on the doors of the Patiala House Court asking, how long am I supposed to wait? What happens to my rights? And the judge also conceded that had he not issued the death warrant, perhaps this process would have gone on endlessly, and at some stage these convicts would have gone to Supreme Court and said that we have been on death row for so long, and because of the delay, condone us and turn it into a life imprisonment. So that has not happened. Now very simply put, who has let Nirbhaya's parents down? The answer to that question perhaps is not available right now, because our legal system is built in a way that we say we are allowed to let go of 3 guilty people, but we are not wanting to let even one innocent person get punished. That's the principle on which our law has been framed, and that perhaps now needs a relook, as at least the Nirbhaya case and the helplessness that the ministry is pleading, the helplessness that the entire criminal justice system is pleading. Maybe now they need to look afresh to balance the rights of the convicts.
Nirbhaya's mother is now speaking, Asha Devi now speaking. Arunima, let's listen into that.
Take the first reaction from the mother. Let's go and see.
That is Nirbhaya's mother wrapped in a shawl. It's a particularly cold evening in Delhi. She's come out. There are reporters there asking her a question. This is Nirbhaya's lawyer speaking. Let's listen. Okay, what we are seeing right now is reporters outside the Patiala House Court. This is where Asha Devi has just walked out. We've seen, it's really disturbing. Arunima, you're with us as well. It's really disturbing how many times. All right, let's listen into Nirbhaya's mother.
चारों के वकील एपी सिंह ने मुझे चैलेंज करके कोर्ट में गया है कि ये फांसी अनंत काल तक नहीं होगी, तो ये कोर्ट सुन ले, दिल्ली सरकार सुन ले, केंद्र सरकार सुन ले कि उसने कहा के गया है कि ये फांसी अनंत काल के लिए टल गई। तो कहीं ना कहीं सरकार हमें 7 साल पहले हमारे बच्ची के साथ क्राइम हुआ था, बार बार हमारे को उन मुजरिमों के सामने सरकार झुका रही है, कोर्ट झुका रहा है।
आज लंबे समय तक आंटी आपने इंतजार किया और आपकी उम्मीद थी आपसे।
मैं सुबह 10 बजे से कोर्ट में आके बैठी हूँ। अगर यही पोस्टपोन ही करना था तो इतना पूरे दिन बैठाने की क्या जरूरत थी? आप फैसला देते हम घर जाते, लेकिन नहीं, पूरे टाइम हमने इंतजार किया। हमें भी उम्मीद होती है कि नहीं हमें इंसाफ मिलेगा, लेकिन सबसे दुख की बात है कि एक मुजरिम का वकील हमें चैलेंज करके गया कि ये फांसी कभी नहीं हो सकती।
आपको नहीं लगता कि कानूनी लूप होल्स हैं, जो कानूनी कमियां हैं, उसका फायदा पूरी तरीके से जो दोषी हैं वो उठा रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल उठा रहे हैं। उनको सरकार और कोर्ट मौका दे रही है कि उठाओ, क्योंकि वो देश के पुरुष हैं। वो बच्ची का कोई हक नहीं था दुनिया में जीने का। इन्होंने क्राइम किया, लेकिन इनका हक है कि ये बार बार फांसी के डेट को पोस्टपोन करवा रहे हैं। अब मेरे को चैलेंज करके गया कि फांसी नहीं हो सकती।
बहुत उम्मीद से थी चमत्कार होगा, आपको
नहीं,
लेकिन नहीं, चमत्कार नहीं हो पाया जो उम्मीद आपकी।
नहीं, मुझे कोई उम्मीद नहीं थी कि चमत्कार होगा, लेकिन सुबह भी मैंने कहा था कि डेट वारंट जारी है, तब तक उम्मीद है।
लड़ाई क्या सोचा आपने आगे?
मैं लड़ूंगी, सरकार को उनको फांसी देना होगा, और नहीं तो पूरे समाज को सुप्रीम कोर्ट से लेकर लोअर कोर्ट को सिलेंडर करना होगा कि हमने फांसी की सजा लोगों को गुमराह करने के लिए दिया था, शांत करने के लिए दिया था।
लगातार मर्जी जो है एक करके लगाई जा रही है। अभी सिर्फ दूसरे जो दोषी है उसकी मर्जी अब लगाई गई है।
निश्चित काल के लिए टल गई, अब और नहीं लगाएंगे। इसके लिए आप कोर्ट में जाएंगे कि ये समय सीमा तय की जाए इनको लगाने के लिए?
अब हो सके सरकार का मन बदल गया हो कि उनको नहीं फांसी देगी।
आप ये भी कह रही थी कि वोट के लिए सरकार इस तरीके की करती है कि हाँ फैसला होगा, लेकिन हो नहीं पाया।
देखिए, हमेशा से सरकार वोट के करना चाहती है, नहीं करना चाहती है, मैं इस पे बात करना नहीं चाहती हूँ, लेकिन मैं आज यही सरकार से, अपने कोर्ट से, न्याय व्यवस्था से, केंद्र सरकार से यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि आज इस कानून व्यवस्था के कमी की वजह से आज एक मुजरिम का वकील मुझे कोर्ट में चैलेंज करके गया है कि अनंत काल तक फांसी नहीं होगी। तो कहीं न कहीं वो जो चाहते थे मुजरिम वो हो गया। तो इस पे अब कोर्ट विचार करे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट विचार करे कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उनकी रिव्यू खारिज करी, उनकी क्यूरी पिटीशन खारिज करी। तो आखिर वजह क्या है कि उसने मुझे चैलेंज किया कि फांसी नहीं हो सकती।
पिछली 2 बार तो तारीख भी मिली थी, 22 जनवरी भी, 1 फरवरी, इस बार तो कोई तारीख भी नहीं मिली है।
क्योंकि जो मुजरिम चाहते थे वो हो गया। वो चाहते थे कि ये फांसी अनंत काल तक टल जाए, वो टल गई। कहीं न कहीं कोर्ट, सरकार सब उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं।
अभी आपको भरोसा है कानून पर, या आप उम्मीद पूरी तरह टूट गई?
नहीं, क्योंकि कानून पे भरोसा है। अगर कानून में फांसी है तो उनको देना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो पूरा संविधान को आग लगाना पड़ेगा इनको।
कोर्ट ने जो बात कही है उससे जो बच्चियों पे लगातार क्राइम हो रही है, क्या समाज में संदेश जाएगा? क्या उनको इंसाफ मिल पाएगा?
और उनके हौसले बढ़ेंगे और क्राइम होगा, लेकिन इनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि ये बहुत ऊंची हवेली में बैठे हैं, इनको हवा तक नहीं लगती है। तो ये कहीं न कहीं मुजरिमों का सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं।
ये जॉइन बाय आशा दीदी। आशा जी, अब अनिश्चितकालीन के लिए कर दिया गया, क्या कहना है? क्या
Arunima, you know what Asha Devi is saying is horrifying and it's heartbreaking at the same time. You know, I'm a little curious. This is something that Asha Devi is asking, and this is something a lot of us who've been tracking the story have been asking since morning as well. If at 1 o'clock the judge had, you know, started dictating his order, why did it take till 5:30 for us to know what exactly is happening?
See, I'm just reading the order copy. Nitisha has managed to access it and send it to us. And I'm just reading page 9 of this order copy, which is detailing point number 19, 20, 21 up till 24 is detailing why the judge thought that this should be the result. And he's saying that I have considered all the arguments that have been made by the prosecution and the defense. He said as far as Vinay's case is concerned, there is no hesitation in observing that the execution of Warrant has to be postponed because his plea of mercy is pending with the president. Then it goes on to say that as far as the case of remaining convicts is concerned, the second proviso appended to Rule 836 categorically provides that if an appeal or an application is made by only one convict, the execution of sentence shall be postponed in the case of co-convicts also. So he has considered all these rules, he has considered what the prosecution has said, and then he has weighed the pros and cons of what the defense was saying, what the prosecution was saying, and then come to this conclusion that this has to be postponed. I can understand Asha Devi's sense of frustration since 10 in the morning, and I've seen her in the courtroom. Last time she had high fever. For 3 days she was running from High Court to Supreme Court to lower court. She had high fever, yet she was present there. Today also she would have skipped her lunch because you know, there's no time. When I went to her residence, she said, I've been so busy trying to meet lawyers, trying to meet media, I had no time to cook lunch. So these are human aspects which law doesn't consider, but which we do, and that's why her frustration is understandable.
Let's see what Asha Devi has said once again. This is heartbreaking, frustrating for all of us, I think.
मुझे चैलेंज करके कोर्ट में गया है कि ये फांसी अनंत काल तक नहीं होगी। तो ये कोर्ट सुन ले, दिल्ली सरकार सुन ले, केंद्र सरकार सुन ले कि उसने कहा के गया है कि ये फांसी अनंत काल के लिए टल गई। तो कहीं ना कहीं सरकार हमें 7 साल पहले हमारे बच्ची के साथ क्राइम हुआ था, बार बार हमारे को उन मुजरिमों के सामने सरकार झुका रही है, कोर्ट झुका रहा है।
आज लंबे समय तक आंटी आपने इंतजार किया और आपकी उम्मीद थी आपसे।
मैं सुबह 10 बजे से कोर्ट में आके बैठी हूँ। अगर यही पोस्टपोन ही करना था तो इतना पूरे दिन बैठाने की क्या जरूरत थी? आप फैसला देते हम घर जाते, लेकिन नहीं, पूरे टाइम हमने इंतजार किया। हमें भी उम्मीद होती है कि नहीं हमें इंसाफ मिलेगा, लेकिन सबसे दुख की बात है कि एक मुजरिम का वकील हमें चैलेंज करके गया कि ये फांसी कभी नहीं हो सकती।